Good morning. This is what I look like when I first wake up, guys. I want to talk about CERN really quick. Here, I'll pat it down so we don't get distracted here. It's like Albert Einstein. That's how I feel right now. CERN turned off their hadron collider. So, I'm actually not getting anything about that, but I just have a personal hypothesis that they're turning it off because they, well, because I've been told multiple times that they're done. Their technology is kaput, is what I've been told multiple times. And actually, I've seen a lot of evidence of that because Donald Trump, like I said, the deletes, they've been having to do stuff in the 3D reality instead of being able to use their machines. So I'm like, wow, what are the odds then that CERN comes out and is like, we're going to turn off the Hadron Collider right now? I'm like, okay. Of all the times to do that, why now? Don't you guys need it or something? So if you don't know, I'm a psychic medium. I've been channeling with God and seventh dimensional beings, which are aliens, which are the people coming for open contact. So that is like my specialty. I did not know that I was in contact with, like seventh dimensional beings. I did for a long time. I was told it was my higher self, which is technically true. So that's funny. They were technically right. Because it's us from the future coming back in time to help us. It's a whole Inception situation. So anyway, I've also been told that they have been messing with the timelines with time machines. Because that technology is very normalized in other dimensions. In this dimension, it's not normalized yet. Confirmation pipes. If you know, you know. If you've been following me, my toilet's been doing weird shit with these confirmation pipes here. And so anyway, yeah, they cannot use the technology that they've, so if you've been following me, one of the biggest channels I've gotten to date is that they have confirmed, the time travel situation, which is a huge conspiracy theory. Donald Trump and family being tied to Tesla because, Trump's uncle took Tesla's files. And then there's been weird things that have come up, like Barron Trump, Grand Adventure book. And there's something else, too, that's tied to time travel with them. And so there's been conspiracies for years floating around. I've been told that it's confirmation that, yes, there has been timeline manipulation. And they're doing it through CERN. They're doing it through those types of things, which is why CERN was connected to Epstein and, the like ball rituals, like that kind of stuff. If you don't know, there has been satanic rituals tied to CERN. And they've kind of just brushed it under the rug like they were doing some ceremony or something. But there's been like full-blown rituals being filmed at CERN. And that's been coming out for about a year now as well. So there's all these things kind of connecting everything together, right? The Epstein files, we know deeper stuff is going on. They've been doing grander experiments. So again, I've been told they have access to major technology, which is what Stephen Greer's whole thing is about. Now again, Stephen Greer is an interesting person. His hand in disclosure here has been interesting, but he is accurate about the fact that our government has access to technology that is well beyond what we can even imagine. I would say like iPhones and computers and all this stuff alone, they don't really go into details about the invention of it. And I saw a video the other day of like a microchip in an iPhone, and it's like literally insanity. Like how micro it is. So, like how detailed the chips of the phone, like the chips that go in our phones are. Look it up. Look up an iPhone chip. It's fascinating. So there's all these like little things that are like pointing us to the fact that something is going on. CERN is tied into that. I actually grew up in the town called Batavia, Illinois, which is the only hadron collider in the United States. So I grew up in the town that has the other hadron collider. And there was a lot of weird shit that happened growing up. We have a whole conspiracy in our town called the Fermi bubble. Like there's this whole, I made a video way, way, way far back about it. One of the first videos I made was about this. And Dolores Cannon talks about in the fall of Atlantis, they were doing collider experiments. And she got that channeled all the way in the 80s and 90s when she was doing her channeling. So I was shocked when I saw that back in the day, just over a year. This is before I even became a psychic. I was like, what the fuck? Hadron Collider experiments? Hey, wait, I grew up in the town. And also, we have a full-on conspiracy theory in my town called the Fermilab bubble, where when big weather, systems would come in, they would, like, split up. They would split up. And so, people in my town started to make, like, Facebook posts about it and joke about it, and it was called the Fermilab bubble. And then people would come on the Facebook page and be like, pray to the almighty Fermi bubble that it splits up and is, because we would get, bad weather events, but we never, ever, ever would get hit by bad weather events. And it was very strange because I came from a town that would get hit by bad weather events. It was only 30 minutes away from where I grew up. So when I moved to Batavia, I noticed it. I thought it was very strange that the weather would split up. And then this bubble, started to become a huge conspiracy theory in my town. And now I've been told that's because there has been alien protection around those types of towns. There's alien protection around CERN, there's alien protection around Fermilab, those types of things. And I've been told partially because they had to be able to there are portals to other dimensions in these places. That's what they're doing. People say they're like splitting these particles to like make smaller particles, but like they discovered like the what was it, the quark? Now they've even discovered neutrinos, which I think is smaller than the quark, but don't give me, those are like the particles. They call it the God particle, which is really fascinating. The quark, I think. Anyway, that's like, I don't even know for sure, but, and I toured the facility too when I was, because, they make a big stink about it. I always lived across from it, but I actually never went. But there's buffaloes on there, on the property too, and I should have gone. All the years I never went over to Fermilab, because I lived really close to it. And in 2012, when the whole Mayan calendar, big fucking kit and caboodle was going on, there was a weird situation in my town, in my neighborhood, because I actually lived, again, closer to Fermilab, and a lot of the scientists lived in my neighborhood. And they had to up and leave in 2012. Like, to the point where, like, so many up and leaved that they messed up the stats in my neighborhoods, like, because, like, with, selling with the houses, to the point where it, like, fucked up our thing for a little while, because it, like, made our houses be more valuable than they were, because, or drop in value or something like that. I just remember it was kind of a big deal in 2012. Because they shut down the Hadron Collider here, and all the scientists had to move to Switzerland to go to CERN. And that's when the Mayan calendar shit happened, 2012, all that stuff. And it was weird, because I had a weird, I was like, so now I'm like tying it all together, they're always tying shit together for me. I'm like, what are the odds again that I grew up in that town? I just like can't get over it. I think it's so cool. Because I'm like, now I'm the psychic who like channels about all this shit. So, and that was no coincidence. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, nothing is a coincidence. Like, literally, nothing in your life is a coincidence. Nothing. So, all the music you liked was for a reason. All the movies you liked was for a reason. You're on this path for a reason. I'm being serious, guys. So, you're ahead of the curve here as far as knowing what's going on. Very fascinating. But that's why I've been told that, or what I feel we've shut down the collider for, is because they literally don't have access to the technology anymore. They do not have access to it. So they have to do things in a 3D way now. So I think it's interesting now that they're shutting down the collider.